Well, welcome back to Cottage Farmstead. I'm Rebecca, and as all of us are starting to get a whole bunch of seed catalogs in the mail lately, I thought I'd take you through what Farmer Nathan and I look for in some of the seed catalogs to determine if a particular variety would be well suited for our area. So while we love trying new varieties and cultivars in our garden every year, sometimes those cultivars are not so happy to meet us in our steamy, hot southern summers. The Southeast has its own special growing challenges like any part of the country. For us, that means we have fairly hot summers. They are very humid, so we have to deal with not only diseases, but also pests. And we also have good old Carolina red clay. So we have to look for some specific things when we're going through our seed catalog to determine which of, the 500 different tomato varieties out there would probably grow well for us. For us, one of the tricky vegetables to grow is actually bell peppers. It's my favorite sweet pepper to eat, but for some reason they get sun scald because it's too sunny, but then if we put it in a shadier location, they don't mature fruit very well. We get blight on the leaves, then we get leaf-footed beetles everywhere, so it's just been something that we've struggled growing here. Then one year I paid attention to the cultivar that we were growing, and I looked it up in the seed catalog, and I realized that that seed company was based up in like Vermont or somewhere way up north of where we are, and I was like, you, my friend, were not prepared for the South. So it got me on the hunt looking for bell pepper varieties that would grow better here in our climate. We've tried growing the California Wonder ones, and those do okay, but they're used to a little bit of a drier climate than we have here. So this past year, we've discovered a Carolina bell pepper that actually produced decently well for us. So over the years that we were trying to find a better bell pepper variety for us, we were reading the seed catalogs looking for some specific things. Is it heat tolerant? Does it resist sun scald? Is it disease resistant? Because those are some of the things that are challenging in our area. So if you also live in the Southeast and are looking for seed varieties that will do well in our climate here, we'll give you tips on how we discover varieties that grow great for us. So first is pay attention to the paragraphs that are underneath all of the beautiful photographs that are very tempting in the seed catalogs. You're going to be looking for things like pest resistance, disease resistance, and heat tolerance. So for example, summer squash is very difficult for us to grow down here due to pest pressure. And when reading through one of the seed catalogs, we noticed that it mentioned that our observations over several seasons indicate that Black Beauty attracts squash bugs more than other varieties, and they've used it as a trap crop. So that lets us know that this would be a terrible variety for us to grow down here because we have a big problem with squash bugs, and there's nothing other than just hand picking them off to get rid of them. Then the vine borers come. So we know that this particular Black Beauty variety, it's not a great fit for our area. But if we continue looking through the squash section, we will find lemon squash, and in their little description, it talks about how they have good pest resistance and they're more likely to outlast the bugs. So that's something that we look for and we go, aha, this variety might do well for us, and we have found that it's done better for us than trying to, say, grow zucchini down here. So when you're browsing your seed catalogs looking for some disease resistance, you're going to start seeing phrases like downy mildew resistant, or it's late blight tolerant, or it resists the mosaic virus, and so on. And those are great clues to determine if that variety would do well for you, especially if you've suffered from, say, downy mildew in the past. When wanting to find varieties that do well as far as heat tolerance goes, you'll be looking for clues that include terms like hardy in adverse conditions, it's drought tolerant, it's specifically bred for hot climates, is adapted to your particular region. So for example, looking through the seed catalog here, I see that there's a variety of cucumber that is well adapted for the mid-Atlantic region and also grows well in the north, which is a big flashing red light that this is probably not the best variety for me to grow down here. Another thing to keep an eye out for is heirloom or specific local varieties. So if a particular variety has been growing in your area for over 100 years or even just a few decades, the odds are that it will grow great for you too. Most seed catalogs will carry some heirloom varieties and will often list the original seed source. So if it's maybe in the name like the Carolina bell pepper, gives me a clue that it probably grows in the Carolinas where we live. Sometimes the clue to where it came from is in the name of it, like Brandywine or Amish paste or the Carolina bell pepper or California wonder bell pepper. It gives you a clue where it's from. But also, if you're able to spend some time researching and seeing if there's some local seed growers in your area, we have some that are about an hour north and an hour south, an hour east of us. So there's some seed that's grown already nearby. Another place to make use of is your local county extension office. So we live near Clemson University, and there's a retired horticulture professor in our region that has collected heirloom seeds from all around our area, especially from an area of South Carolina called Mountain Rest, which is about 45 minutes away from us. So we know that these seeds have been grown in our region for decades, some of them if not hundreds of years. And conveniently for us, the extension office sells some of these seeds. So if we're wanting a particular pea or corn seed or bean seed that's been grown in our region for so long that it's well adapted to our conditions, it's a great place for us to go get some seeds that are pretty much guaranteed to grow great in our climate. Well, I hope some of these tips were helpful for you as you go through your seed catalogs that are arriving in the mail this month, so that you can find varieties and cultivars that will grow great in your garden this coming year. And while you're planning your garden, if you're looking for some tools for organizing your seed wish lists and planning your garden, we do have some printable garden journal pages available on our website at cottagefarmstead.com. Happy growing!